An agricultural experience from Greece. Studying abroad can offer an array of opportunities, especially for a Berea College student. Summer 2012, Dr. Shawn Clark took 10 students to Prof College, the American farm school in Thessaloniki, Greece. While there, the students learned about agriculture, food culture, and culture of the country in general. Dr. Clark is teaching Agriculture and Food of Greece, Local to Global, for the first time. The course is about studying Greece's policies affecting global trade and small farm viability, protection of natural resources, and the local farming economies and food traditions. Through scheduled lectures, workshops, and hands-on excursions, the students accomplished learning just that.
My name is Shawn Clark. I'm a faculty member in the Agriculture and Natural Resources program at Berea College and the director of the college's educational farm. I'm originally from Berea, Maryland, but I've lived on both ocean coasts and the Great Lakes, so I've seen a lot of the country. I decided to hold this course at the American Farm School because there was a history of interaction between Berea and the American Farm School to build on. And given the current economic situation in Greece, I thought it was an ideal place to explore questions about local versus global economies and food systems. I was expecting students to gain a new perspective for and appreciation about Greek culture in general, and an understanding of Greek agriculture and food in particular. And I think students met most of those expectations. Some of the essays I read following the course indicated that students were influenced by what they saw more than what they read, which probably isn't surprising. But I had hoped that students would balance these two sources of understanding in forming their opinions about Greek society, food, and agriculture. I certainly learned a great deal about agriculture in Greece, and I have a new appreciation for the satisfaction that comes from the simple things in life, as well as from intergenerational knowledge, learning from our elders. It's hard to pick one favorite part of the trip, but the one that comes to mind right now is wandering through the open markets in downtown Thessaloniki, looking at the fish that the fishmongers were selling, the butchers cutting the meat, and the fruits and vegetables on display for sale by many vendors down these narrow streets. I thought about the history of the place and about the freshness of the food and the traditions that were represented there. Picking a favorite food is a hard thing for me to do, but I really enjoyed the fava bean spread because I'd never had it before. Of course, I also enjoy the octopus salad because I don't think I've ever had it so fresh. Gyros are always one of my favorites, and they were delicious. I'd never had them with French fries in them, so I enjoyed that. If I were to change one thing about the course, it would be to include more physical involvement in some of the food and agriculture processes we saw. Students enjoyed the cooking class where they got to be involved, and I wish we could have done more of that when we visited farms. This course was really designed for all students. Although it had an emphasis on agriculture and food, I tried to design it so that it would appeal to any student interested in food systems or perhaps in Greece. One thing I hope students realized from the course is that learning doesn't have to take place in a classroom. It can take place in all kinds of contexts. We spent a lot of time visiting with farmers, agricultural scientists, business people, vendors at farmers markets, students, and others, and learned a great deal from the Greeks that we met. Most of this learning took place outside of a conventional classroom. I think it's a mistake for students to believe that they have to be in a class, they have to be taking notes to be learning.
Hi, my name is Sarah Vaughn and I am a junior at Berea College. I am a Child and Family Studies major with a minor in Agriculture and Natural Resources. While I was in Greece, I learned a lot about Greek culture and I was able to visit some very famous places, such as the Acropolis. I also got to see the monasteries at Mount Athos where the monks live, even though I was required to stay 500 meters away from the coast because no girls are allowed. Although I do not remember the exact name of my favorite food, it was a pasta dish with sun-dried tomatoes in it. My favorite part of the trip was visiting the beach at Callicratia. The beach was beautiful and it was nice to just sit by the water and relax all day. My favorite souvenirs would have to be the sea glass that I collected from the different beaches that we went to. I was so excited to find the first piece since I had never seen sea glass before, and I'm hoping that maybe I can make some cool jewelry out of it.
I'm Jessica Roberge, Senior Communication Major and Peace and Social Justice minor from Palmer, Tennessee. The most interesting thing that I learned on this trip was that even liquid waste from the cows were used to irrigate some of the crops at the American Farm School. My favorite food was the zucchini balls and tzatziki sauce. I'd never had either before, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. My favorite part of the trip was learning how to cook Greek food by actual Greeks. I thought that was just a phenomenal feeling and a fantastic experience. My favorite souvenir is my authentic traditional Greek dress. The Greeks are really big into fashion, so having an article of clothing from there really connects me to the culture.
Hello, I'm Jonas Holland. I'm from Beattyville, Kentucky. I'll be a senior in the fall, and I'm an Ag and Natural Resources major. Probably one of the biggest takeaway messages I got from this trip was how much travel can broaden your perspective on all aspects of life. The rest of the world is a lot different than the U.S. People who've never traveled just don't have any idea what that's like, I guess. Part of the trip's main focus was on the food of Greece. I'd say my favorite would be, I think, dolmades is what we call them here. They're just rice wrapped in grape leaves and then kind of fried and boiled in olive oil and water, and it has mint and dill and stuff in them, and they're really tasty. The one question that everyone asks me since I've been back is, what's your favorite part? And that's kind of a hard question to answer because of how great the whole trip was, but if I had to narrow it down, it'd probably be standing on the Acropolis looking at the Parthenon, because I've seen pictures of it since I was little and just never thought I'd be standing in front of something that the ancient Greeks had built, and it's just amazing to be there with so much history and the fact that it's still standing and I was right in front of it. I didn't really bring back a whole lot, but my favorite thing that I did was probably the football jersey that I got, and I really like it just because it reminds me of how much fun I had watching the Euro Cup there with everyone. Everyone got really into it, and especially the Greeks when they beat the Russians, which they weren't expected to at all, so that was a really fun evening.
My name is Abby Clark. I am a second semester junior from Frankfort, Kentucky, and my major is agriculture, double minoring in women and gender studies, along with sustainability. During this trip, I learned a lot about me. This experience helped me to appreciate my past, present, and future. This experience will always remind me to slow down and cherish the small and large things throughout my day-to-day life. My favorite food while in Greece was definitely the dolmas. They consist of rice and herbs wrapped in grape leaves. My favorite part about the trip was our trek up Mount Olympus. This was such an awesome experience for me, and I will cherish it forever. Although I didn't make it to the peak, I am entirely proud of myself for accomplishing what I did. My favorite souvenir is a ring that I bought on the last day of our trip in a little town called Orinopolis. We were on our way to Mount Athos. The entire trip I searched for something that was handmade that would remind me of my experience in Greece. And on the last day I found it. And for me, the ring represents my life coming full circle during this trip. When I was in Greece, I bought my son Avery, who just turned 3, a book that is entirely in Greek. During this trip, I learned how important it is to travel the world in order to fully understand other cultures. I hope that one day Avery will be able to travel and will learn from his experience, and in turn be able to one day read the book to me.